to be asked. And that question, I must add that there is never a stupid question. I believe I would rather look stupid for a moment than to remain ignorant for a lifetime. So I wish you all well for the next 2 days. And I thank you once again, David, and each and every one that is present here to making this a success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Basil, on the inspiring words and very positive outlook on our current nations between Asia and Africa. I'd like to welcome to the stage our next speaker. He is presently the CEO of Francesco Parisi Group, chair of the region Europe FIATA between 2009 and 2011, executive board member of FIATA Zurich between 2005 and 2009, senior vice president of FIATA between 2009 and 2013, and as of October 2013, he is the currently FIATA president. Please welcome Mr. Francesco Parisi.
Your Excellencies, dear Basil, dear David, dear colleagues and friends, it is really rewarding and encouraging to see that in some countries in the world, our industry gets the attention and support from the highest government level. It's no surprise that this happens in Dubai, a place which has been which has had a long-lasting strategy to develop itself as a platform for logistics between East and West, North and South, and has implemented investments and policies to facilitate this development. But also, no doubt, this position of our industry in the minds of the rulers has much to do with the activities carried on by our association member in the Emirates, the National Association of Freight of Logistics. So thank you, David, and thanks to all members and officers of NAFL for having made it possible to open this year's FIATA Region Africa Middle East field meeting in such a distinct manner. Thank you, David. Thank you, Basil, for having invited me to address all of you at the opening of this meeting. I wish to extend to all of you the best greetings from all members of the presidency. Some of them are here, Stanley Lim, our immediate past president, and Babar Babat, and we'll probably talk to you later. It has been a clear decision taken by the presidency during this term that presidency members have to make all possible efforts to attend all regional and sub-regional meetings. We cannot expect you from all different parts of the world to come to us. We have to come to you. This is also the only way, this is my firm opinion, to understand what are the real needs and challenges of our industry around the world and try to adapt FIATA policies to the real needs of our constituency. We have heard today a few words mentioned several times. One of them was innovation. Every organization has to be innovative, and we have to learn what are the needs, and we have to come to you to learn what are the needs. It is also the only way to really promote FIATA. And please do not hesitate to ask any questions you may have in respect of FIATA to myself, to my colleagues of the presidency, to the director, Basil Aid, who is here in the room. Last year, unfortunately, we could not attend the Victoria Falls RAME meeting since it was overlapping with the presidency meeting. We have made sure that this will not happen anymore in the future. This is therefore my first RAME meeting, and I'm particularly glad to be here and have enough time to stay even one day before and one day after, considering that this FIATA region is a particularly vast region and complex one, and one where FIATA expects to be able to grow in terms of services provided to the members, as well as number of association and individual members joining FIATA. Why do you expect to grow? Well, a lot has been already said today. No doubt, the participation of this region to the world trade is forecasted to grow, both in relative and absolute terms. The services the sessions that will follow will show us what are the expected developments in terms of trade flows, corridors, and infrastructure. And in a growing region, in terms of trade, we expect our industry to grow and to require support also from our overarching association, which is FIATA. One example should be sufficient to prove what I'm saying: training. There is no real school in the world to learn freight forwarding and logistics. But there is one worldwide recognized standard, and this is the FIATA Diploma in Freight Forwarding. Training and education is nowadays the most important value added our associations can provide to our members. FIATA is not only providing the standard, but also the necessary support to set up the courses, and also especially the support of the FIATA Foundation. The president, Aldo Daros, is in this room, to train the trainers. And the fact that FIATA recognizes training and education to be the most important service to our member is proven by the fact that we have established during last year's Congress in Istanbul a new project called the FIATA Logistic Academy to further develop FIATA's educational portfolio and also to embrace new educational technologies like e-learning. You probably all know that the head of this academy is a person quite well known in this region, Issa Balouch, and this is a guarantee for success of the FIATA Logistic Academy. I don't want to take more of your time. Only allow me to remind you that regional field meetings are very important events, but the most important annual event for FIATA is the FIATA World Congress. And this year, FIATA World Congress will be held in Chinese Taipei between the 8th and the 13th of September. So I look forward meeting all of you in Taipei, and please do not hesitate to contact me or my colleagues Stanley and Baba or Basil if you have any questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Parisi, and welcome again to your first RAME meetings. In order to kick off our first session, I would like to welcome back on stage Mr. David Phillips.
I won't be back here in a hurry after a while, so we will have others that will be moderating. The way we're going to run the conference today is to have speakers representing the areas and the issues that face our industry, talk about the linkages between the subcontinent, Asia, Africa, via the Middle East, the UAE, Dubai. And I'm sure that there will be a lot of questions in everybody's minds. So the way we're going to run it is we'll have speakers talking about what's happening, and then we will have a panel discussion. And we do hope that we receive a lot of energized questions that come out from there, because we need to go back home with more knowledge than we came here with. So please do participate. The first session that we have today is about the UAE and Dubai. It's called, the theme of the session is the gateway between South Asia and Africa. When we talk of Dubai and the UAE, we wonder, why is it the gateway? And the thing that jumps right into our minds are the wonderful infrastructure that we have. And then we tend to think of infrastructure as the wonderful airports, the ports, the highways, the roads, the trains that we have out here. But alongside that, to make that really, really work, is really the soft infrastructure that makes it happen. And that is the service one receives even at the window of any of the institutions providing that service, be it the port, be it the customs, be it Dubai Trade. That's the soft infrastructure that actually makes the hard infrastructure work. We will hear a lot about that in the next session. We have a wonderful panel of speakers. May I please invite my panel of speakers on the stage. We have with us Mr. Mehmood Bastaki. Can I please invite you on the stage, sir? Mr. Mohsen Ahmed from DWC. Mr. Hassan Al-Hashimi from the Chamber of Commerce. Mr. Adil Zaruni from Javza. Mr. Yusuf Al-Hashimi of Customs. Thank you very much for joining us on the stage. And to start with our first presentation, we have the first one from the Chamber of Commerce, delivered by Mr. Hassan Al-Hashimi. A little bit about Hassan. Hassan is in his current role involved in international relationships. And if you go to the Chamber of Commerce website, you will see the kind of involvement that the Chamber of Commerce has in Africa. It's an area they have identified as potential, and like Isa says, we don't only talk about it, we're doing something about it. So may I invite to the stage Hassan Al-Hashimi.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is my pleasure to be here with you on behalf of Dubai Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I'd like to take this opportunity this morning to talk to you about Dubai as Dubai's role as a gateway between South Asia, Africa, and the access that it provides across other international markets. This is a topic that the Chamber has been promoting for many years now, and one that will help drive Dubai's future trade and logistics growth. Let me start with some facts and figures, and I hope you've had enough caffeine in your system to cope up with the numbers that I'm going to provide you with this morning. The GDP growth, I mean, for our forecast for this year is expected to be around 4 to 5%. The economy will continue to be led by trade, tourism, logistics, and financial sectors. I mean, last year, Dubai's total non-oil trade reached a value of 1.3 trillion dirhams. Imports accounted for about 845 billion dirhams, and exports and re-exports 114 billion and 372 billion respectively. The direct trade accounted for about 818 billion dirhams of the total foreign trade value, while free zones contributed at around 488 billion dirhams. Customs warehouses accounted for 23.8 billion dirhams. Interestingly, mobile phones were the largest significant traded commodity, up 9% to a total of 178 billion dirhams. Computers also grew at 9% for 53 billion, and personal vehicles, for example, 30% growth to 68 billion dirhams. In addition to the jewelry trading, that has witnessed a growth of 8% as well, adding 55 billion to our economy. So that is some trade figures here for you to reflect on. If I speak about tourism, for example, last year we've had around 11.6 million tourists that visited our city. It is a very interesting figure considering the vision of the Emirate of Dubai to host around 20 million visitors by the year 2020. Currently, the city has around 90 to 95,000 rooms in hotels. And that number is going to double by the year 2020, particularly when we take into consideration the upcoming activities that leads to the Expo 2020, and more incentives are being given to hotels that are within the four stars and 3 stars to expand the options for visitors coming from everywhere. The logistics sector, of course, also we have witnessed some very interesting growth. I mean, the freight volumes at Al Maktoum International Airport rose more than 260% after Emirates Airline moved its cargo operations there to Al Maktoum Airport. So this is, as well, gives you some information about what is happening here. In this positive economic climate, Dubai continues to be one of the world's top business destinations. The main advantage is Dubai's connectivity, really, to different markets, coupled with the business-friendly environment that we have here. Dubai is, as you all know and you've heard with the Excellency's speeches, is located at the center of the world and has unique air, land, sea transport network that connects hundreds of different markets. It is the gateway in the region and a bridge to high-growth emerging economies. This is particularly true to Africa and South Asia, as Dubai offers stability and access to modern infrastructure and robust legal protection. The city has done trade with Africa for quite a long time, particularly East Africa. And it's interesting this morning as we hear all the speakers talk about these important regions and markets around us to see the significance of the United Arab Emirates and Dubai as a hub to access these markets. We as a Chamber of Commerce and Industry have embarked on a couple of activities that really tries to bring the businesses closer, understand Africa. Africa is no longer a country, it's a continent with many countries, different policies, different infrastructures, different setup. So our role here in Dubai when we came up with these different initiatives is to really highlight the city as a gateway into these markets